Got you. Thank you. So let me just take a moment to thank Ronald for bringing you and the Wesleyan team. It's a big honor for us to have you here. Naomi Wilson, where you at, sis? There you go. Gospel singer. We're going to hear from her. She's amazing. Brother Carlos, I don't know if he's here or not. Here he goes. Carlos is here. Peace, brother. Good to have you here. BL, here you go. How you doing? Wonderful. Thank you for having us in. Just special shout out to a good friend of mine that we walked in. I was really moved, Brother Dario Peña. Wonderful to see you again. So thank you. So let me just take this opportunity again to welcome all of you to the Exodus first gospel concert along with Wesleyan, and have fun. Allow the Spirit to lead you. Just move with it. I think that's the most important thing. Real quickly about Exodus, I just want to tell you, we've been in existence for the last 23 years. We have a mental health program. We have a wellness center. We have a great program live from Rikers. So we're actually going into Rikers Island right now. We've got about 50 staff members going into Rikers Island right now, and we're trying to make some changes in there. I'm not saying trying. We are making changes in there, right, Georgie? So thank you to the Rikers team for all that you're doing. In this building, this is our newest building. This is called the Grace Center. Here on the top floor, we have a full, all-out music studio along with podcasts. Brother Chris and Champ manage that. Give a shout out to both of y'all for all that y'all doing. The third floor is the Rikers team. Second floor will be a gym. And we're now at the first floor, which is where we're at now, the Grace Center. Downstairs is a barber shop and a hair salon, and we give out clothes as well. So again, for Exodus, this is 23 years we've been doing this work. I think the biggest thing, if I could say any success about it, is there are 287 people on staff, and 90% of the staff are impacted by the justice system. 90% of the staff have turned their lives around and are impacted by the justice system. We totally doing amazing work. We also manage 6 hotels in New York City for people leaving Rikers Island and New York State prisons. So it's an honor to have all of you. We welcome you to our space. We are grateful. And let the show begin. Thank you.
Thank you, Julio. It's an honor for all of us from Wesleyan to be here in this beautiful space, working with this wonderful organization, Exodus. So we thank you, and we thank Rudy and Rain and Rock and Sharika and Sharima, Eric, all the great staff that has been helping us for the last few days put this together. You have a wonderful team here. We're happy to be collaborating with you, and we hope this is the beginning of more collaboration. So thank you to everybody from Exodus. Also, we want to thank our sponsors from Wesleyan who helped bring everything here from Wesleyan, the Center for Pedagogical Innovation, the Creative Campus Initiative, the Service Learning Program, and the All Britain Lecture Series. They all contributed to make this happen, so we appreciate that. And also, we want special thanks to our guest of honor, Carlos Roche, who's here. He is an extraordinary source of wisdom and living history as a survivor of the 1971 Attica massacre. And later on, he's going to introduce the part of our program where we'll present some material about that historic event. But before we do that, we're going to present for you the collaboration, the results of the collaboration between my Wesleyan students behind me here and BL Shirelle and Naomi Wilson. They are 2 extraordinary women who, between the 2 of them, have spent half a century in prison, but they came out strong and they came out determined to fight for the rights of the individuals they left behind. And they've been doing that in extraordinary ways. BL is the co-founder of the Die Jim Crow Records company that produces music by formerly and currently incarcerated individuals, so you can look for their music there. Naomi is one of the star recording artists of Die Jim Crow, so I urge you to look at their website, diejimcrow.com. And they also have been coming to meet with students and help them understand a lot about the injustices of the prison system, and to understand how it's possible to survive the trauma of incarceration, how they survived by healing themselves and the women they met in prison through kindness, through generosity, and through music. And it's just been wonderful to collaborate with them. And they've also been reading together with the students Dante's Inferno, the story of climbing out of hell, climbing the mountain of purgatory, and getting to heaven. That's a story that Dante wrote in the 13th century, and we've been talking about how that might connect to the stories of men and women who have been in prison and are also working to climb out of their own personal hells of their past to reach and achieve personal heaven in the future. And it's easier to see that connection when you realize that when Dante wrote that back in the 1300s, he had been convicted of crimes himself and sentenced to death. So he wrote under the sentence of death, knowing that if he ever went home out of exile, he would be burned at the stake. So somehow there's a part of Dante's story that can really be only deeply understood by people who have lived through exile themselves and found a way to keep hope alive. That's what Dante did, and that's what Naomi and BL have done in amazing ways. And their spirit of keeping hope alive in spite of obstacles comes through in the music and in the songs and the stories that they sing and tell. And those stories they've been sharing with the Wesleyan students, and the Wesleyan students in a few minutes are going to do what Dante did. When Dante listened to the stories of the men he met in hell, purgatory, and heaven, he retold those stories, always beginning with the words, and he to me, or and she to me, indicating that he was going to give you the words directly, verbatim, of the men that he had been speaking to. So whenever you hear the Wesleyan students say, and she to me, that means that you're going to hear the verbatim stories that BL and Naomi asked them to tell of Naomi and BL's experiences. And also, when you see the students lift up their books, you'll know that they're quoting Dante directly from the medieval poem, and you'll be able to hear yourself some of the connections between that poem and the modern stories. I think now we'll move right on to letting BL introduce the students and start the presentation. In the second half, I'll introduce Carlos. He'll talk to you. We'll do some pieces about Attica, and then we'll have time for discussion. So stay where you can talk to the performers, ask them questions, comment, let them know what you think. And then we'll have special guests who have been working with the Exodus team, some local teenagers from the neighborhood, and some very special guests performing after the discussion. So stick around for all of it, and we're really, really glad you're here. So now I'll introduce BL Shirelle, who is an amazing performer. You will hear her perform her rap, and listening to her reminds me of what Dante's grandfather said to him. He said to him, put aside all falsehoods and make manifest your vision. In other words, cut through all the lies and tell the truth. And that's what BL does in every song she sings, every story she tells. So please welcome warmly BL Shirelle.
Thank you, thank you. So, hello, thank you guys. Thank you very much to the Exodus Transitional Community Center. Thank you, Professor, for sharing your venue and your artists with us today. And I want to take this time to introduce my collaborators, the students here. Before I do that, I just want to tell you guys Thank you very much, because as much as you think that I've taught you, likewise, you guys have taught me a lot, taught me so much, and I appreciate you guys this semester. It's been awesome. So first I want to introduce Professor Jenkins. I know he was just up here, but Professor Jenkins was impressed by the talent and generosity of the freedom fighters he met while incarcerated in a South African prison during apartheid. Who knew that Professor Jenkins was formerly incarcerated? Professor Ron Jenkins began exploring the power of music and theater behind bars. Since then, he has facilitated theater workshops in prisons in Italy, Indonesia, and the US, often bringing his students from Wesleyan and Yale to collaborate with currently and formerly incarcerated individuals on performances inspired by Dante's Divine Comedy that raise awareness about the injustices of the US justice system. Then we have Lena Kruschke, who's an exchange student from Germany. She will write her thesis on the profit-driven injustice of the American prison system. Serena Murdoch is a freshman studying African American studies in English. They are passionate about stories and listening. Serena aspires to be an author and journalist with a concentration in race and criminal justice reform. Gabriella Theodore Myers is a computer science student with a passion for human rights advocacy and a lot of personal connections with incarcerated family and friends. Cecilio Munoz is a first-year film student with relatives impacted by both the US criminal justice system and immigration policy. Anissa Colon is an activist studying government, African American studies, and human rights advocacy. She is passionate about international racial and ethnic justice and plans to get involved in alternative structures of government and law. And Tamaris Hollis came to Wesleyan to teach French and is currently doing a master's in English literature. Her interest in mass incarceration stems from having justice-impacted family members. And not a student, but we also have Dario Pena. I don't want to leave you out. He's a phenomenal actor, and I don't have your bio, but I love you. And with that being said, these are the students of Wesleyan. I hope you guys enjoyed the show. Thank you very much.
Right now, over 200,000 people are serving life sentences in American prison. Did you hear me? 200,000. That's enough people to fill Madison Square Garden 10 times. A third of them is older than 50 already. Until recently, Miss Naomi was part of this statistic. Imprisoned with other women facing death by incarceration for crimes they committed decades ago. Early in his journey, Dante encountered similar tragedies when he entered the first circle of hell, the limbo. There, he met virtuous souls, damned for eternity on account of the single sin that they didn't believe in God. I apologize. Thank you. Great sorrow seized my heart, Dante says, for I had seen some estimable men among the souls suspended in that limbo. And like Dante, Miss Naomi met beautiful people, kind and virtuous people, in the hell we call prison. She shared with us the story of a dear friend, which I now pass on to you, as she asked me in her own words. And she to me. Phoebe is 87 years old, and she's waiting to come home right now. She'd been abused by her husband for years, and she didn't even have the courage, to kill him herself. But she had somebody else shoot him. She got a life sentence, but I love her. And once you get to know her, you can really see, how she took that abuse, because she's just so soft. We called each other Pooh, and all those years I've known her, she's always been that same sweet person. She was always kind to me. She always remembered my birthday. She knows I love sweets, so she would buy me candy from commissary and have it wrapped up with a bow on it. Always a Christmas present. Just that kind of a thoughtful person. All the time. She's in a wheelchair now, living in the infirmary. She's been in there almost a year now, just waiting to come home. I don't even know why they're holding her up. But that's just how the system goes, you know? Playing mind games on you. This woman is 87 years old. She doesn't even know where she is half of the time, you know? What harm is she going to cause to anybody? Just let her come home and die with her family. Her granddaughter loves her dearly. She's genuine. She's real people. And she deserves to come home. Let her come home.
Nobody knows the trouble I see. Nobody knows my sorrow. Nobody knows the trouble I see. Glory, hallelujah. Nobody knows the trouble I see. Nobody knows but Jesus. Oh, no, 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 nobody knows the trouble I see. Glory,
At only 18, BL Shirelle was arrested and put in jail for a set-up shootout with undercover police. Across her music career, she shares her journey from struggle to triumph. This path has never been linear. As an adolescent, BL was both praised by her teachers for her poetry and being surveyed and set up to go to prison. When she was released for the first time, she experienced the crooked system that was set for formerly incarcerated people. She asked me to share her story in her own words about the generational impact mass incarceration has had on her and her family. And she to me, my mother is formerly incarcerated, my father is formerly incarcerated, my son is justice impacted. This is something that has made its way through my whole family. I'm standing here with my child in front of the same judge I stood in front of before. Can you imagine a judge giving out their first life sentence? How it made them feel that day? And 40 and 50 years later, doing the same thing. By then, it don't even mean anything. That day with that judge, everything started playing back. I was arrested with my mom. Like, me and my mom were arrested on 3 separate occasions on the same cases. When I got back home from prison, my mom wasn't even the same person. I had to get to know her all over again. It was a great experience. I'm watching my son go through Ramadan and really do it. And I'm just so proud because I've never seen him apply this amount of discipline to himself before. He's a good man. He's not afraid to fix things, he knows how to cook, he goes grocery shopping. I'm looking around like a lot of y'all 16-year-old sons are not 16 going grocery shopping and can fix a tire. He's doing great. BL Shirelle has put out a powerful message about mass incarceration through her music. She shares the experiences that shaped her into the person she is today, and how her and her entire family have been impacted by the generational curse of mass incarceration, and all broke the cycle, and are now flourishing. In Dante's Inferno, when Dante first set eyes on the devil, similar to when BL and her son set eyes on that judge, Dante says, "I did not die, and I was not alive. Think to yourself, if you have any wit, what I have become, deprived of life and death." BL and her family have all met the devil, sometimes self-inflicted. BL, an astute artist,
There's a whole nother
a
fucking
poet,
body in the basement.
executive
dog.
producer
A whole fucking
of
other
Die Jim
body in
Pro
the basement.
Records, will be
Well, all
performing
these fucking
generational
fleas.
curse for us today.
All these fucking fleas, dog. It's like when you came in the basement, it was like a door like this, but you come in and like laundry room, but it's like next door is the basement. I ain't never go that far, like, so I ain't give a fuck.
Had the strength and resolve. Dirty 38s that revolved. I was armed at an early age. Say my grace even if I starve. Cause through grace I evolved just from bagging up on dirty plates. Switching tags up on them jersey plates. They say it's the road to riches or pearly gates, depending on what turn you take, depending if you learn to swerve and break. We all carry little certain traits. I watch my lady dominate her workplace and still feeling need the permit straight. Assimilate, so I shake my dreads in honor of her curly mane. Do it for Marjorie and do it for Pearly May. They blood pressure equivalent to this murder rate, with sugar levels that's sending them to attorney rates. I gotta update the price on my life insurance rates. Black matriarchs never late for their early grave. Getting calls before the morning break, unsure if they got them on my wake. It's a cycle that I swore I break. See my son's torture traits, praying he abort this fate. Thursdays selling rollies just for shorty Trey. Gotta connect in the kitchen, she give me Obey. Gotta connect this Dominican, call him Jose. I gotta test her, it's going if she say okay. They bundle up in the summer like it's a cold day.
Every day we used to go on Mama Street and be like, yo, what the fuck is that smell? Like, that was a normal smell to us. Like, yo, what the fuck is that
I need y'all to listen to her.
What the fuck is that smell?
What's the message in this? I know it's a lot of cursing.
How many we want to see?
Yeah. I'm really bored with the crack raps, but I can't help it, I get flashbacks. I need my flowers. I did a dime, came home and built a non-profit record label for those still inside, still silent. Just being honest. Want my acknowledgement? You want a cookie chick? Yeah, chocolate chip, demolish it, then vomit it. I don't even eat that type of shit, but y'all can eat off my accomplishments. I don't follow the trends. I rock button-ups with corduroy collars and trim, and dread hats with plaid and polka dot on the brim. They say I'm out of style, I just call it unique. They say I'm in denial, I just need a few feet. You'll get stoned with a few feet if you come within 2 feet. And stay with the latest, I was packing that new heat. This designer the drum don't hit the market for 2 weeks, but I cop every color, every size, every time they come out. Like the Yeezys that you got on your 2 feet, fiends copped. All the butter, every size, nicks and pies, I run out. Get the order, knock it out like loose teeth. I send my guys letters, still writing on loose leaf. They gave my guys letters, not a sentence to proofread. But anytime you need the truth, I bleed. And anytime you need the truth, just read. Yeah, and 100.
That's why everybody seems so fucking high. I'm keeping it a bang. I got think back, like this spice would be high to block out super shit, like, yo. Like, just that smell became normal. Like, come on, get the fuck out of here, man.
Thank you.
Miss Naomi was sentenced to life without parole on July 5th, 1982. She served time at CSI Muncie in Pennsylvania and was released on that same day 37 years later. 37. Who's 18 or younger here? Come on, raise your hand. I can see some kids. Yeah, great. You two, the length of your two lives combined, that's still less than what Miss Naomi spent in prison. During that time, she says she befriended some of the sweetest people she ever encountered. They would call me auntie, they would call me mama. Everybody was my baby. She says about the girl she took under her wing. Music and God are two companions that have accompanied Miss Naomi throughout her life ever since she was a kid. And she, in turn, spread that love and passion to other people. In Dante's story, when he and Virgil reach the shores of purgatory, they meet souls who hope that heaven will welcome them. They first meet the guardian of purgatory, who asks them, "Who are you? Who, against the hidden river, were able to escape the eternal prison? Who was your guide? What served you both as lantern when, from the deep night that will always keep the hellish valley dark, you were set free?" Like Dante, Miss Naomi was on a journey, but she was also a guide, a lantern, providing light for the other women in the darkness of prison. Miss Naomi is now a commutation specialist and helps lifers to go home. She also goes by the artist name Simply Naomi, when releasing new songs showing how bright and genuine she is. Now let me tell you a story in Miss Naomi's own words, one that she has shared with us. And she to me. So many people that are on the inside, they've been tricked. They're tricked, lied to, and taken advantage of. And that's what a lot of lawyers do. They want to get that money, and they lie, and they make promises. They tell you you're going to get a deal, and you go in front of the judge, and the judge sorts you out of the box and gives you a life sentence. India Spellman was my roommate. Wonderful, wonderful person. Just, tied up with the wrong people. And you know how the real you comes out, and the real her has come out, but she was tricked. This is what they do in the system. Of every malice gaining the hatred of heaven, injustice is the goal. And every such goal injures someone either with force or with fraud. A lot of the women felt the very same way that I felt, just wanting God to open our eyes, because so many of us were just so blinded, being the reason that a lot of us were even there. And then I knew it was things about me that I needed to change in my life. And so all of that was just being in the dark. And I knew I needed to make a change in my life somewhere. Even if that were going to be my life, I knew I needed to start thinking different and talking different, walking different. I knew I just needed to change, and I just needed God to open my eyes so I could just see, understand, and realize my worth. Miss Naomi, who was a source of light in the darkness of prison, will now sing for us This Little Light of Mine.
You're welcome to sing this with me. I'm sure you know this. This little light of mine, I'm gonna let it shine. Oh, this little light of mine, I'm gonna let it shine. This little light of mine, I'm gonna let it shine. Let it shine, let it shine, let it shine.
has ever had a bad day when all you wanted to do was just listen to music to get your mind off everything? Raise your hand if this sounds like you. Nice, almost everyone. Well, you guys aren't the only one who do this. BL Shirelle does this too. And according to a study done with prisoners and music rehabilitation programs, one of the most effective ways to prevent someone from going to jail again once they've been released is through music therapy. Music heals. BL Shirelle told me what music means to her. She said, even though this music has a whole lot of trauma in it, it's still coming from a very healing place. It's like I'm looking back at those times. It's not like I'm speaking like I'm in it at the moment. In Dante's journey, when he leaves hell and reaches the base of Purgatory Mountain, he says, to course across more kindly waters, my talent's little vessel lifts her sails, leaving behind herself a sea so cruel. BL Shirelle's little vessel that lifts her sails is her music. She says, my relationship with music has changed. Now, I don't have to lean on it so much anymore for the outlet. That's not my way of healing now. It's more so through helping people. I'm in the service profession. Now, BL will sing Till I Go, a song about reconciliation, mainly how she healed her relationship with God.
This song, maybe people can relate. It's about a spiritual transition, searching for a place. I was in that place not too long ago, and I just want to say, just keep your heart whole, keep your heart good, and that's all that matters. Ever get sad from being happy? Like, I did this shit for Gramps and she in the afterlife, and the sacrifices she made, it took half a life. Y'all say she looking down, she hardly had a sight. I feel my faith has lost its appetite, cause I done served the deacon and the pastor's wife. I used to know them verses front to back and back to right, until I read that Bible printed in this black and white, and it's cracker type. My spirit don't have a sanctuary, it roams cause what is home, but God knows it's gold, it shows straight through my soul, and he chose me. Now get a load of me. Fat dyke with a beard, so you notice me. Got a limp from some bullets caught below my knees. Triple D's, who the fuck you know as bold as me? And I'm supposed to be exactly how she molded me. Yeah. Only way will I know. Won't know till I go. And if you go before I go, I promise try to let you know. Like I'm spiritually homeless. Swear my spirit be wrong. Where my spirit be gone. Where my spirit be gone. Forgive me, I'm high. Some memories die. Some shit stuck with me like a minute ain't even went by. And ain't no changing the cycle. They slayed the disciples in pages of the Bible. I used to pray to a Christ who wasn't doing nothing, cause the only time I prayed was when I wanted something. Got caught dumping, now I got caught coming. But Lord, please forgive me for all my shortcomings. Give me credit for being forthcoming. Not saying it's no paradise, but no one knows what that shit is like. Praising Christ or Allah, Jehovah, whoever I like, don't make me right. So if I praise my God until I go numb and die, then I find out it was the wrong one. Am I condemned cause I was speaking with the wrong tongue? I'm just translating the lyrics to the song sung. Only way will I know. I won't know till I go. And if I go before you go, I promise try to let you know. Like I'm spiritually homeless. Swear my spirit be wrong. Where my spirit be gone. Where my spirit be gone. And now lay me down. I pray the Lord my soul. If I should die before, I pray the Lord my soul. I wanna feel your energy. Now I lay me down. I pray the Lord my soul. If I should die before, I pray the Lord my soul. Now I lay me down. Pray the Lord my soul. If I should die before, I pray the Lord my soul. Now I lay me down. Pray the Lord my soul. If I should die before, I promise try to let you know. Amen.
The American Journal of Public Health found that for every year a person spends in prison, their life expectancy is reduced by 2. Miss Naomi Wilson thought she would die in prison. She wrote her obituary 15 times so that her son would know she was more than the criminal the state painted her to be. I will be sharing Miss Naomi's powerful words as a glimpse into chronic, often intentional medical negligence in prisons, as well as Miss Naomi's resistance to the prison's attempt to rob her of a death with dignity. Miss Naomi insisted, "This place is not going to eat me up." Her friend, BL Shirelle, said that it's a fight to stay alive, especially as a lifer. Miss Naomi's kindness and compassion to others, as well as her beautiful music, were part of her fight to stay alive by refusing to submit to prison authorities. I will be sharing a story Miss Naomi told me in her own words, and she to me. I'll tell you when I thought they had me. They told me I was a diabetic, and that really shocked me. Nobody ever told me I had diabetes. First, when I had blood and stuff done, they didn't tell me I was diabetic. Then, I started feeling really funny, and I went down to medical. The nurse said, "Well, why haven't you been taking your diabetes medication?" And I said, "Diabetes? I don't have diabetes." Nobody ever told me I was a diabetic. So then they told me to wake up at 5 o'clock in the morning and start taking insulin. And one day I was in the unit and I started feeling really lightheaded and stuff. So I went to my cell and I lay down on my bed. And anyway, the officers came in and next thing I'm in the ambulance. They took me to the hospital and I was in the hospital for 5 days because they were giving me insulin and my body rejects insulin. When I did come around that next day, and the doctor came in, she said, "Who's been giving you insulin?" And I said, "Well, who do you think's been giving me insulin?" "The prison." She said, "You had so much insulin in your blood, you were about to go into a diabetic coma." When I came back, I was just so grateful. Now this was some me and God time. It was a pleasure to just go to that church and just play music and just thank God. I was just so grateful because these people almost killed me. And so I want to, file a lawsuit. And sure enough, they said I couldn't file a lawsuit because, see, this is how crooked they are. They said I couldn't file a lawsuit because the prison saved my life. Isn't that something? At the end of Purgatory, as they enter the Garden of Eden, Virgil said to Dante, "I crown you over yourself." Like Dante, Miss Naomi went through hell, refusing to be eaten up. Miss Naomi, being her own Virgil, crowned herself through her ability and determination to control her own life. Miss Naomi will now be performing I Will Wear a Crown.
I will wear a crown. I will wear a crown. When my life is over, I'll wear a crown. I will see God's face. Ooh, I will see His face. When my life is over, I'll see God's face. I'm going to put on my robe, tell the story how I made it over. You better believe that I'm going to put on my robe, tell my story how I made it over. I'm going to put on my robe, tell somebody how I made it over. I will wear a crown. Ooh. I will wear a crown. When my life is over, I'll wear a crown. I'll wear a crown, yeah, yeah. I'll wear a crown, yeah.
Thank you. When you sing that song, it makes me remember another quote from Dante, cantando si dolce che mai da me si parte il diletto. Singing so sweetly that it will stay, the sweetness of it stays with me forever. Every time you sing, I think of that quote. And now we're going to go into the part of the presentation where we talk about Attica. And I'm going to ask Carlos Roche, who was at Attica, survived the Attica massacre, to introduce this section, and he'll be able to speak with you afterwards if you have questions when this part of the presentation is finished. Also, I want to introduce Dario Pena, who was not at Attica, but he worked with Naomi and BL over the summer creating this presentation about Attica that you're going to see some fragments of. And I've had the honor of working with Dario for many, many years, saw him play the lead role in Macbeth. We're really glad that he can be with us here. But now I'll just ask Carlos to, just say a few words to introduce this. You can stay right here. Here's the mic.
Hello.
The audience is out there.
Hello, everybody.
Take his mask.
Yeah, it was 51 years ago, and it was like yesterday. Wow. You know, it's scary because Attica can happen again. You know, anytime you think about it, they can do it all over again. It's a heck of a thing. We need to really, really concentrate on what we're doing now to avoid what can happen at any time. Attica is really a place that would make you want to cry every day. You know, Attica is all of us, and all of us are Attica. I hope and pray, man, that it won't happen again, but it can. All we got to do is slip just a little bit, and they can bring it back, man. They can resurrect it like like it happened yesterday. You know. Be glad that we can get around this. We have to. You know, we don't never want that to happen again to anybody, but it can happen again. Thank you.
With the exception of Indian massacres in the during the 19th century, the state police assault, which ended the 4-day prison uprising, was the bloodiest one-day encounter between Americans since the Civil War. The official New York State Commission report on Attica.
To FBI Director J. Edgar Hoover, urgent, extremist matters. At approximately 9 a.m. on September 9th, 1971, over 1,200 inmates of the Attica Correctional Facility took command of the facility and captured 38 hostages, guards, and civilian employees.
I wrote the song in honor of the 43 men who perished in the Attica uprising. It's called Attica Demands. Bring them horns in. We going all in. Tryna make it to the morning. Tryna make it to the morning. Yeah. Let's go. Meet us in the yard. We got the guards, including the Sarge, only armed with our hearts, but we need to talk. We got the mans, die like a man, last resort of our plan. Gotta meet us in the yard. We got the guards, including the Sarge, only armed with our hearts, but we need to talk. We got the mans, die like a man, last resort of our plan. First thing we need is amnesty for this calamity. Can you guarantee that we make it home to our families? Inhumanity is the lens in which you branded me, expecting different results. Insanity, crazy. We demand adequate medical. I've seen several. Residents died due to negligence. It's unethical. We demanding in the slave labor. We professionals working electrical, but not a dime of the revenue. We demanding in the political persecution. The 13th time they amended the Constitution, strictly for institutions. Keep our necks in these nooses, yeah. Slow death in its execution, huh? Allow us to form a union. If productive citizens is the goal, you gotta prove it then. We got demands, gotta take a stand. Shame on this country once again for forcing our hand, but meet us in the yard. We got the guards, including the Sarge, only on with our hearts, but we need to talk. We got demands, die like a man, last resort of our plan, gotta meet us in the yard. We got the guards, including the Sarge, only on with our hearts, and we need to talk. We got demands, die like a man, last resort of our plan. We demand legal representation to see parole, and every one of them seats should be filled through a vote. We demand accountability. COs want control, bring their problems into work from their homes, and they prone to be bound, laying prone on a hole on the stone where it's system overload, system overthrown. We need more diversity in the hierarchy. Black and brown people in authority that I can see. This is more reality. Old white men reigning over the society, normalize the proprieties. Am I developing traits that align with oppressors? Am I enveloped in hate, society's reflection? Shit, it's like we need to revolt, we need to vote, we need to do both. It's like a boat needing a hole. We done went from trees with the rope to knees to the throat. And then this road taking its toll, they gotta meet us in the yard. We got the guards, including the Sarge, only on with our hearts in. We need to talk. We got demands, die like a man, last resort of our plan, gotta meet us in the yard. We got the guards, including the Sarge, only on with our hearts in. We need to talk. We got demands, die like a man, last resort of the plan, yeah, yeah. Meet us in the yard, yeah, yeah. Meet us in the yard, yeah, yeah. They got to meet us in the yard. They got to meet us in the yard, yeah, yeah. Bring them horns in. Yeah, we going all in, yeah. In honor of the 43 men who perished in Attica, we going all in, yeah.
Helicopters flew over and they told people to surrender and put their hands on their heads. And when they said it a second time, they started opening up shooting.
Place your hands on top of your head and surrender to an officer. I repeat, you will not be harmed. I repeat, you will not be harmed.
Let's go. Maybe not.
It was a real nightmare when I saw the first helicopter. I had nightmares for years. I still have them. I had one about 3 weeks ago. I smell gas, I hear smoke. I smell gas, I hear guns going off. It's that post-traumatic stress shit. 50 years ago, and I'll be 80 in 7 months. Carlos Roche, Attica survivor.
Song is called Choppers. You just gotta listen to this one. I pray them choppers is coming to save us, but I know better. It seem like them copters is coming to spray us. Rather do that to continue to torture, degrade, and enslave us. I hear them shots and I fall to my knees as I recite a prayer. They ain't coming to save. Imagine a football placed under your chin. They say if you drop it, they going up a shoddy. Put some high hollows deep under your skin. You laying exposed. They beat you for hours and you barely conscious. You numb to your limbs. I ain't just rapping. No, I ain't capping. This shit really happened. That's word to Big Blackin'. They strip you naked. They burn up your flesh with non-menthol impressions. Play Russian roulette at your head, and they made you watch every second. Beat on your testicles, various weapons. Shells whizzing by, hit your friend where his head is. I pray them choppers is coming to save us. But I know better, it seem like them copters is coming to spray us. Rather do that than continue to torture, degrade, and enslave us. I hear them shots and I fall to my knees as I recite a prayer. They ain't coming to save us. You was just helpless. Torture for days made you crawl through a gauntlet. Pissing out blood for 2 years, gotta chalk it. They broke your feet and then told you to walk. And of course when you couldn't, they beat you regardless. Even though they were the causes. Getting new charges. Charged us for us getting slaughtered and tortured. I wish I could tell y'all this story less harsh. But truth is more stranger than fiction. The roots of the dangers, the system. They shooting, they blaming the victim. Proof that the new Negro slave in the prison. Shit, ain't no grace or redemption. I pray them choppers is coming to save us. But I know better, it seem like them copters is coming to spray us. Rather do that than continue to torture, degrade, and enslave us. And I hear them shots and I fall to my knees as I recite a prayer. They ain't coming to save us.
You have at least 88 people shot so severely that they need immediate surgery. There was absolutely no preparation made to treat the inmates. No blood, no plasma, no bandages, no painkiller, no fluids, no surgical, nothing, nothing, nothing. L.D. Barkley was shot. The shot collapsed his lung. He couldn't get medical treatment. And he bled to death. Liz Fink, Attica lawyer.
It's my last one for the night. It's been awesome. You guys have been a great crowd. I promise you this, scariest shit that ever exists is being in prison while physically sick. And if you got life to them, you already dead, so hopefully it'll be quick. I see my cellie start taking the meds. Shit fucked me up when she seen to forget. In a year's time, she was slobbering, spitting, playing this shit. I promise you still, scariest shit that I seen on the hill. Being in prison and mentally ill, where they kill your will. Day after day, through pill after pill. You go bananas and slip on a pill. Stuck in the slam and can't win an appeal. Can't even feel, so you really can't heal. That's worth the Camp Hill. Ill. The infirmary, smelling like blood in a murder scene. Mixed with neglect, no sense of respect. We dying from no sense of urgency. We die from deliberate indifference and standard procedures and routine surgeries. We dying from constantly being denied our services purposely. Until we are ill in this terminally. Boy, this shit really murder in first degree. Screaming in vain. They don't believe in our pain. It's like we ain't bleeding the same. Serving our time equate to deserving to die. Freedom we see at the grave. Wish we was free at the gate. Only way they can escape and see what remains is families receiving remain. I promise you this. Scariest shit that ever exists. Being in prison while physically sick. And if you got life to them, you already did. Hopefully it'll be quick. I see my cellie start taking the meds. Shit fucked me up when she seen to forget. In a year's time she was slobbering, spitting, playing and shit. I promise you still. Scariest shit that I seen on the hill. Being in prison and mentally ill, where they kill your will. Day after day, through pill after pill. You go bananas and slept on a pill. Stuck in the slam and can't win an appeal. Can't even feel, so you really can't heal. That's where the Camp Hill. Yeah.
We cannot let the people who lie escape responsibility for their actions against humanity. The Attica atrocities should be investigated not only by you, ladies and gentlemen, but by the United Nations and the World Court of Justice, because what happened at Attica was a crime against humanity. The prisoners of New York State are extensions of the social ills that the Black and Puerto Rican people are subjected to in the ghettos. We are not animals. We are human beings. The people are the power, everybody working together, struggling to see justice. All power to the people. Libertad. Jose Paris, human rights advocate.
Oh, freedom, freedom over me. Yeah, oh, freedom. Over me before slave. I'd rather be buried somewhere in my grave than I'm going home to live with God. Hey, oh, freedom, yeah, freedom all over me, yeah, oh, freedom, freedom over me. Before I be anybody's slave, I'd rather be buried anywhere, somewhere in my grave than I'm going home to live with God. Hey, freedom, freedom over me, freedom over me, yeah. Freedom over me, freedom over me. I tell you, before I be anybody's slave, I'd rather be buried anywhere, somewhere in my grave than I'm going home. I'm going home to live with God. Yeah. Oh.
We are men. We are not beasts, and we do not intend to be beaten and driven as such. The entire prison populace, that means every one of us here, has set forth that we will not tolerate the brutalization and the disregard of the lives of the prisoners here and throughout the United States. What has happened here today is but the sound before the fury of those who are oppressed everywhere. D.L. Barkley. Murder at
Attica. Attica is something good to know about because it's the reality of what can happen again. Today, tomorrow, the day after, next week, next month, 10 years from now. It can happen again, and it will, because they got away with it before. And if they can get away with what they did to us, and we just a grain of sand in history, can you imagine what they feel they can get away with? Don't go to sleep on them. If you do, they're gonna gobble you up. They're gonna disappear you. Don't believe nothing they say. Believe that they can and will do anything to anybody because they believe they have a right to do it.
Attica is me, Carlos. Attica is you, Attica is all
September 13th, 2021 was the 50th anniversary of Attica. 50 years later, and it's still going on. That's the system. If it happens again and you don't know about it, then that's on the system. But if it happens again and you know about it, then that's on you.
It is real, real, real,
Attica is me. Attica is you. Attica is you. Attica is me. Oh yeah. Attica is all. Attica is all mine. And the sad part about it, struggle
Attica is every prison, and every prison is Attica.
Attica means fight back.
Thank you.
All right, thank you so much for being with us. If you'd like to stay, you can ask questions or give some comments to the to Carlos, the performers. I neglected to give thanks to our technical crew in video and sound, Ciara and Jason and Mark. So if anybody has a question or a comment, let me know. I'll give you the microphone. Yes?
I totally appreciate what you guys are doing here today. I'm a mother, I am a wife, I am a sister. When my family get locked up, we get locked down. It's about the family. One individual can affect 100 because it takes more than that one individual that is there. So we have to stand up for our family. I am an individual who had a family member that was burnt in Africa at the time that they had the situation going on. And I am very proud to say that I'm glad that we continue to remember, because his story is our story, which makes history.
Thank you. Thank you so much. Oh, go ahead.
Hello, my name is Lynn Rudolph. All my friends call me Ibrahim, and I came to see my man Carlos. I haven't seen him since 1985. But I just want to say to the family, and incidentally, I did 29 years straight in prison. Straight, I did 29 years, so that's nothing to be proud of. But I just want to say to the family, you see those walls around prisons? They're not only designed to keep us out, It's also designed to keep you from coming in. So you guys keep going in. I don't care what procedure, what SOP you have to go through it and go see your families.
Good evening, everyone. I just want to thank Exodus Production for bringing this wonderful concert. I'm so sorry. I'm sorry. You want me? God bless you all. I just want to say thank you. My heart was deeply moved by the whole production team up there. You were just the words that you chose, the way that you produced all of the information to share with us, all of the performances. Ma'am, I must say that just listening to you both young, it just inspired me to know that when we're going through difficult challenges in life, it's really hard at times when we have to face adversities, but just to see you both up there sharing your stories, let us know that when we are in our personal prisons, which it may not be behind a jail wall, but some of us in our life struggles, it feels like we're imprisoned to it. We're locked in, right? But to see you up there, it gives me hope to know that if I keep striving and I keep pressing and I just believe that the community can be saved, and if I just keep sharing the love that I have in my heart, I know I'm only one person, God knows, but if I just continue to share that love that I have in my heart, it does make a difference, right? Because I'd rather be in my grave than to be a slave to anything or anybody.
Okay.
Professor, can I make one small request to the crowd? Guys, I have a fairly small nonprofit called Die Jim Crow Records. If you guys could please go to diejimcrow.com and sign up for our email list, I would be extremely grateful. So, diejimcrow.com, please sign up. Thank you.
Okay, Carlos, is there anything you'd like to say after hearing those songs and stories about Attica? Some of them were your words.
Hey, it was very inspirational, you know. All of this makes me reflect back to that day in the yard, you know. It was scary, you know, people got killed, and I think about it, you know, it's scary, it's still scary, 51 years later, you know. It was a trip, you know. It was a trip. It was a trip that I hope that nobody have to go through. You know. They broke both my hands. I got ruptured discs in my neck. You know, it was crazy. You know. I still wake up in the middle of the night, man, smelling gas and hearing guns go off. You know, 51 years later, I still have the nightmares. You know, they may not never go away, but I ain't going nowhere. Yeah.
Thank you, Carlos. Okay,
Hi, Carlos, and I'm glad that you survived. My brother was in the Attica riot, and I'm glad he made it home, just like I'm glad you made it home. And you're a blessing to a lot of people, even me. And I was formerly incarcerated too for 18 years. But I'm glad to see you home, and thank God for you.
Okay, we have some more entertainment for you, but first I wanted to give the students a chance to say anything you'd like to say about what it was like to work with Naomi and BL and speak their words?
Thank you. So one thing in advance, the last words that I shared during the song that Naomi played were Carlos's. I just wanted to emphasize that. And so now about working with these two beautiful people. 10 out of 10 experience. Great. Strongly recommend if you ever get the chance to spend maybe invite them for dinner or something. Philadelphia, I heard, right? Is it like ish? Yeah. So yeah, it was beautiful. It was very, very fulfilling. Brought great joy and knowledge, and got me even more interested in everything that is going on in this country. And I hope that with my academic career and what comes from it, I can make a bit of a difference. Yep. Thank you.
Working with these two women and some of the other people we worked with this semester, I was just moved. Like, my life fully changed from before and after working with these people. The thing I really took from this is just how powerful these stories are. For so long, like, all of us have turned a blind eye to this because we just don't question the system. Especially when the system works for you, you don't question it. And it's just not okay. That they have proved to me that that is just wrong. And their stories are powerful, and listening is powerful. But they can't share their stories with everyone. So it's your job to continue passing them on and not stop talking about what's actually going on in those prisons. Okay, that's it.
No, thank you guys. I think I said a lot. Y'all about sick of me by now.
Well,
I'm
I
grateful.
just like to say that I am just so blessed to be here today. I'm telling you, I'm just so grateful. I'm so grateful that so many of you turned out, tonight, because what we're talking about, these are things that need to be known. And to know that when you hear that the struggle continues, the struggle still continues on the inside. And a lot of times when you don't have a loved one in prison and you just don't really know what's going on, you think that, well, they're okay and they're safe at least. But, you think that they get 3 hots a cot, and they're fine, but it just ain't like that. I did 37 years in prison, and I'm telling you, just by the grace of God do I stand here today. And I've been home now 2.5 years, well, really going on 3 years, but, I was commuted in 2019, and it is no way that I can ever forget where I came from. So, I have to give back. So I try and just persuade people. I don't care who it is. When I talk to anybody, it could be a stranger. Don't let anybody come and ask me for a couple of dollars, because if they do, now they got to hear a story before they get that $2. Because I got to spread the word to let people know what is going on. And there's no shame in my game. You know what I mean? I am who I am. I was a drug addict. I was an alcoholic, but praise God, I'm delivered from that now. And so when I see people that are in the struggle, I can understand, because I know it ain't easy. And so this is why, the love that I have in my heart. And I thank God that I am just built the way that I'm built, because I just love everybody. I just love people. I don't care what you do, where you came from, what you're doing. I just love you. And if there's any kind of way that I can give, my help, then that's what I'm going to do. So I just want to say again that I'm grateful that you're here tonight. I hope that, you know, you got something out of what you heard tonight, and remember some of these things and take it with you. You know, and for some of those that don't have loved ones on the inside, get involved in prison society or something like that so you can get a chance to go inside and meet some of the people on the inside, to know that they're people too. And you have to understand that we're not exempt from making mistakes. People make mistakes in life. You know, and it doesn't have to be that you made a mistake. You can jump in your friend's car and your friend can be loaded and you get pulled over. You going to jail too. You know, so you just never know. So don't ever say me. So when you point that, you know, it can't be me, because when you point that finger, turn it around and point it at yourself. You know, you just never know. So just be mindful and just, you know, reach out sometimes. Just try to help people if you can in any kind of way. And thank you so much for being here. Professor's getting up. I guess he's telling me to shut up. So I'm using my peripheral vision. Okay, so thank you all again for being here.
Thank you, Naomi. No, I could listen to you all night. I just want to give the kids a chance to present their work. So I'm going to introduce Rock Jefferson, who's part of Exodus team, has been working with kids in the neighborhood, putting together some amazing material, and he's going to talk about it.
Thank you, Ron. Don't make me cry, stop. My mother here, don't make me cry. Damn, hi mama. I didn't expect that, man. I personally invited so many people in this room, and I really, really thank y'all and appreciate y'all coming out on a Tuesday, man, for real. We do so much great work. We don't have, no disrespect to us, we don't have like the biggest like following right now, like social media and stuff, because we know in this world that's what counts. How many followers you got? But I don't care if it's 100 people following us, it's 100 great people. You understand what I'm saying? So we getting the word out, but we do a lot. You know what I mean? But I'm glad y'all got to see some of it. We're going to do a couple songs and close out, Exodus production style. The first record is called Rich Roots. This is a very dear record to me. And me and my brother Cash. Come share the stage with me, my boy. Yeah, so this record right here, man, I'm basically talking to the youth, and I'm just trying to, put some sense in their head, man, without them feeling slighted, but it's the truth, you know? So, let's do it. Whoop.
Because you can't hate the roots of a tree and not hate the tree. You can't hate your origin and not end up hating yourself. You can't hate Africa and not hate yourself. Taylor about the fucking flex.
Rich roots on destined. Low boost, but we steppin'. Black power, what I'm reppin'. Did they tell you that knowledge was a weapon? Rich roots on destined. Low boost, but we steppin'. Black power, what I'm reppin'. Did they tell you that knowledge was a weapon?
Roots revisited.
Did they tell you that knowledge was a weapon?
Roots that penetrate deep within the fertile earth.
Did they tell you that?
Defines our worth.
They say Black Lives Matter till it's a badge on a platter. Not guilty, automatic. Another black mom shattered. Dear Lord, I pray for the weak and the ones that gotta pray that they eat. Need a whole 8 for the sleep. Keep it grass cut, homie, know how they creep. Back pay was reparations, but you blew it. Just saying. Couldn't went on the store, but you went bought the yard. Rich roots on pure. Brother, keep it, man, that's law. Jealousy with a flaw. If we came together, we could have it all. How could a king be a fiend? Why you calling her thot? She a queen. Mama said he had a dream, but this couldn't be the scheme. They kill a brother and we riot, but when your brother do it, we quiet. Program or we jail if they got talent. My brother need a vacate, not Rikers Island. Exodus 17 said God work. So if you believe it, put God first. To turn the other cheek at time hurt, but But they changed the mindset, changed the mind first. Cause hurt people, and drinking poison meant for ops could be lethal. My arms out, I'm trying to reach you. Put the phone down, bro, I'm trying to teach you. It take more to say I don't than I need you. You hurting, little brother, I can read you. There's no soldier left behind, I won't leave you. But you gotta elevate from this evil. Rich roots on destined. Little boost, but we stepping. Black power when I'm repping. They can tell you that knowledge was a weapon. Rich roots on destined. Little boost, but we stepping. Black power when I'm repping. Did they tell you that knowledge was a weapon?
Y'all in the acting, I'm in the action. The Louis White, automatic, Asiatic. I ain't lacking, but I'm smoother than satin. Stacking these baggage, laughing, blowing smoke in the face of the police. Captain, I want to see me go back in. But if everything we doing legit, how can we snatch him? He ain't out here trapping, moving them bricks, he in the fashion. So however you ruin this shit, let's make it happen. Show resistance and clap. There's power in the bag, so if they ask you what happened, say you thought that he was reaching for something, the threat was massive. Felony on your record, cause a gun to protect them and feed the media stories to point out your imperfections. Even if you show reform, you still in debt to the law. But the only one with power to judge us was the Lord. A guilty verdict for murdering George Floyd and vindication for acquittals they been giving them boys.
Rich roots on destined. Low boost, but we stepping. Black power, what I'm repping. Did they tell you that knowledge was a weapon? Rich roots on destined. Rich boost, but we stepping. Black power, what we repping. Did they tell you that knowledge is a weapon?
The infinitesimal seeds within. The human soul holds an excellent mold, and every weed shall bend. Recognize your designer as an adult or minor, for human excellence dwells within every seed.
Thank y'all so much, that's my baby.
But only those of pure.
This next record, Young, Black, and Reckless. Yo, Flo, come to the stage, Flo. Brother Flo, come on, the stage is yours.
Yeah. We good? Yeah. It's for the trenches.
Yeah. Yo, what's up, Exodus? Make some noise. What's good?
For the people say I auto-tune too much.
Yeah.
Huh?
So special.
Listen. We can give you hell or we can give you heaven. My youngins is misguided, they just need direction. Dripping on the steel, they from unprotected. I feel disconnected, young, black, and reckless. We can give you hell or we can give you heaven. My youngin is misguided, they just need direction. Dripping on the steel, they from unprotected. I feel disconnected, young, black, and reckless.
What you think about what the trenches made me? Sorry, mama, but you couldn't save me. Taking shots cause I've been triggered lately. Escape reality, I couldn't face it. My reality is too abrasive. I'm trying to ball, they wanna stop me from scoring. Ducking murder, but they trying to kill me soft like Lauren. Save for a rainy day, I can't stop it from pouring. Not too hopeful for me local, so I die for that foreign. It's real. Sleepless nights, I hear more gunshots than crickets. How I came up, house was missing. Cops will stop us and frisk us. Ops popping the pistols, my gang locked in the system. Course we chose not to listen. We make moves, not decision. It's real. We ain't got a choice in the matter. Who gon' speak for us? We ain't got a voice where it matter. We ain't too busy trying to survive, trying to avoid these disasters. Dropped out of school early, I can't wait for a bachelor's. It's real.
We can give you hell or we can give you heaven. My youngins is misguided, they just need direction. Dripping on the steel, they from unprotected. I feel disconnected, young, black, and reckless. We can give you hell or we can give you heaven. My youngins is misguided, they just need direction. Dripping on the steel, they from unprotected. I feel disconnected, young, black, and reckless. Since a youngin' I was labeled just black and reckless. Check the records with sold weapons to snatch a necklace. 15 and it was alcohol in the beverage. Credit notes that mommy wrote cause we ain't had a debit. Made it out the mud so I'm screaming bet it. It was 3-zip and they was screaming dead it. We ain't never had no role models. Pray for gold bottles, $1 million smiles with some gold bottoms. I hit my man, knocked the soul out him. Next night it was roll bottom. Them wolves get antsy with a jewelry bright. Right here caught life and pick that jewelry right. Drill through the day just to see the night. Pray my disciples never cross him. Jesus Christ. cross me. Jesus crazy.
My disciples never cross me.
Jesus crazy.
We could give you hell or we could give you heaven. My youngest is misguided, they just need direction. Dripping on the steel, they from protected. I feel disconnected, young, black, and reckless. We could give you hell or we could give you heaven. My youngest is misguided, they just need direction. Dripping on the steel, they from protected. I feel disconnected, young, black, and reckless.
All right, here we go. So, I have, what's up, baby? Appreciate you coming, bro. We have this thing that we do with the youth. It's called, like, changing the narrative, descriptive writing. We know what a lot of these kids are saying. We know the music that they're listening to. It's not cool. It's not what the 10-year-olds should be talking and sounding like. So I need my boys to come to the stage. Amir, Aiden, JJ. Band Brothers, let's go, Band Brothers. Come on. Let's get it. So what you do?
I can't miss. I'm an MVP. Boy, I'm Kobe. Boy, I'm CP3. All my fake friends turn to enemies. But they just mad cause I'm an MVP. I can't miss, I'm an MVP. Boy, I'm Kobe, boy, I'm CP3. All my fake friends turn to enemies. But they just mad cause I'm an MVP. Little man but a big plan. I got a big fan. She a little girl but a big fan. She a big fan. What's my name? I'm 8-bit. Boy, like I'm in Space Jam. That's a big gun. That's a rape fan. I'm stopping it. This is A-man. I can't miss. I'm an MVP. Boy, I'm Kobe. Boy, I'm CB3. All my fake friends turn to enemies. But they just mad cause I'm an MVP. I can't miss. I'm an MVP. Boy, I'm Kobe, boy, I'm CP3. All my fake friends turn to enemies. But they just mad cause I'm an MVP.
Thank y'all. No, that's